Well, hello, this is Brian Grenier. I'm putting together another screencast for EPISD teachers, walking you through some of the features of the CK12 website and Flexbooks that we've adopted in our core curriculum areas at the high school level here in EPISD. In today's screencast, I'd like to take some time to look at how to create an assignment for your students as well as a quiz for your students. So these are, we're going to get back into our group section and look at how you can assign essentially practice activities to help your students master some of the curriculum that is being presented to them. Let's go ahead and let's get started. You can see I'm logged into the CK12 website already. I see my name up here in the header bar. I know I'm logged in. I am going to head into my Groups tab up here at the top. And once I'm in there, of course, I am going to select my U.S. History class. Now I need to qualify this. I'm going into a U.S. History class. The assignment builder in CK12 is only available for our math and science teachers. So even though I'm working in a U.S. History class right here, I am going to use the example as if I were an earth science teacher. So you can see I'm in my class. We have been in this view in a previous screencast that I've put together. Along the left-hand side here, I'm going to come down and I'm going to click on Assignments. And you can see right now I have no assignments created. So I'm going to click on Assignments, which will bring me to my Assignments page. As soon as that opens up, it's going to be pretty empty right now at this point. And in order to create my first assignment, down here at the bottom of this main part of the window, I'm going to click on Create Assignments. It gives me some information about some of the recent changes that have been made to the practice assignments in CK12. There are some really neat features. These are adaptive questions for students, so they're going to adjust difficulty based on student responses. They have to answer at least 10 questions correctly in each concept, and there's some badging and stuff that goes along with it. So there's just some information about that. Spend some time looking at that. So here I am on my first screen of my Create Assignment wizard. Once again, you can see this is available for math and for science. So we're looking at everything from first grade math all the way up through calculus, trigonometry, statistics, some of those upper level math courses that we have at our high school level. In science, once again, we have earth science, life science, biology, chemistry, physics, and physical science. So for this particular assignment, let's say we're in an earth science class. I'm going to select my subject, which would be earth science, and then my concept. So perhaps my concept right now, we're working on Earth's surface processes. I'll go ahead and click on my concept. And then underneath the concept, I have all the different subconcepts. So perhaps we're working with weathering and erosion. If I just click on it, which I just did, you can see it's automatically added to our assignment. I'm going to go ahead and click delete that over there. So if you ever add anything, that if you click on it unintentionally, you can just click on that red X to remove it from your assignment. What you're going to want to do, really, I think at first, is get in there and explore these concepts to see what they're like. So if I click on the blue eye right there, what that will do is that will open a window and it'll give me some information about this particular concept, about these particular activities. Now you'll see I have 2 read activities, a couple of videos. There's some activities that I could look at for to do in class. Not all of these items will be assigned to students. Some of them are for you to get in. So if there's a lesson plan you want to look at, you can get in there and click on the lesson plan and download it. There's different study aids. There's web links in here. There's just a wealth of resources for you as a teacher. When you assign these assignments to students, this is actually found under assessments. So if you want to see what the students are going to see when you assign this to them, if you click on the Assessments tab up here, and you're looking at this practice window that is available. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this practice activity here, and you'll see, as soon as this opens up, what the student will receive when I assign this to them. They will, let me scroll down there so we can read it a little bit better. They'll have a reading about weathering and erosion. There'll be a couple of videos, one called Weathering and Erosion Part 1, Weathering and Erosion Part 2, and then a real-world activity called Who Do You Love? And I can get into any of these. So let's say I wanted to take a look at the real-world problem. I could click on that, and I can wait for that to open up in my next window, and I can see a little bit more about the hoodoos and how they were created. You know, maybe some of our students have visited the Gila Wilderness and seen these different rock formations up there in the Gila. I'm going to go ahead and close that. So you can get into those and preview those. But this is what our students will see. These are the practice activities. And then there's this a set of questions that the students will go through as well, in which they need to get 10 correct before they meet that particular practice goal. So let me close that bit out, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to assign this weathering and erosion to this assignment. Now I could select multiple topics here, multiple concepts here to be added onto this assignment. I think if we do that, we're really going to start overloading our students, but that's up to you as their teacher. I would stick to one, maybe two concepts at a time for each particular assignment. You do have the ability to add a quiz to the assignment as well. There are some practice questions within the weathering and erosion activity that I just assigned. However, I can also add an additional quiz on top of that if I wanted to. If I want to add a quiz, I would just select Add a Quiz to this assignment, and my quiz generator is going to open up. So I'm going to go ahead and create a quiz for the class. We'll give the, I have to save my assignment, I'm sorry. So let's save my, that was a weathering and erosion. Let me save that assignment first. There we go. So the assignment's created. Now I'm in my quiz creator. The reason we had to do that is because the quiz is actually something that resides separately from that assignment itself. Our quiz, as we'll see here towards the end, actually will reside in our library of resources once we create it. So let's give our quiz a title. Let's call this our weathering and erosion quiz. I can put a description here if I wanted to. I don't need to, but I could add a description if there was some information you wanted to include about that. How many attempts am I going to give my students to complete this quiz? Is it going to be an unlimited amount? Am I going to set it to once? Am I going to set it to 5 times? How many chances do I want my students to take that quiz? I'll set my number of attempts to 5. And do I want to give them some sort of time limit on the quiz, either in minutes or unlimited? I'm going to set that to unlimited. I also have the ability to shuffle questions in this quiz. So we have kind of our quiz properties taken care of up here. Now we need to add the questions themselves. CK12 does have a bank of questions that we can choose from, and you also have the ability to choose your own. So to look through the bank, I'm going to click on Add an Exercise here. I'm going to search for my concept. So this was in science. I'm going to go into earth science. We'll go into the surface processes, and I'm going to select weathering and erosion. And I'll select that. And you can see I now have 16 questions added to that quiz. I'm going to click that little, close that pop-up window there. If I want to edit the questions, I can click on my little pencil icon here. That will open up my quiz editor. I can see the types of questions that are in there. I simply check the questions that I want to be included. So if I do not want a question, I can uncheck it. If I want to preview a question, I click on the little arrow there at the left-hand side of it. That'll drop it down, and it'll allow me to see the question itself that was part of that question bank. So you just go through, you check off, make sure you check the ones that you want as part of that quiz. If you want to add your own questions, you have the ability to do that at the top of the list where it says Add Question. So I'm going to go ahead and add my own question to this. It's doing a little save on the quiz. It's adding the question. And now I have my question editor. So what type of question is this? Is it multiple choice, a true, false, short answer? There's some neat drag and drop questions that you should explore, highlighting questions. We're going to make this a multiple choice question. I just type my question in. There's a math editor in here. If you're a math teacher, different symbols, that editor should look familiar. Let's say my question is, if pressure increases, what happens to the melting point of ice? And I have a little error there. Okay, if pressure increases, what happens to the melting point of ice? Your answers for your multiple choice questions, the first one you put in should be your correct answer. So the melting point would stay the same. Or would it increase? Or would it decrease? If I want to get rid of an answer choice, I can click on the trash can there. That will get rid of the answer choice. I can add a distractor if I wanted to. I can put hints in there if I wanted to. I could put a solution in there if the student gets through the question and you want to highlight the answer for the student, you could put the solution in there. And then I have the option to set things like the question difficulty and the concepts as well as grade levels that it relates to. So I'm going to go ahead and submit that question. And I could add another. I'm going to say I'm done at this point. So my quiz now contains the questions that I chose from the question bank itself. Looks like I chose 7 of them. And then you can see I also have my question that I created on my own. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. Let's take a look now at, let's get back to my assignment. So I clicked on update. I'm going to go back to assignment and take a look at the assignment itself, which is in my library. I'm sorry, in my groups. I'm going to go to groups. I'm going to go to my history class, and I'm going to go to my assignment. You can see now my assignments. There's my weathering and erosion. If I click on it, I can edit the assignment. We'll talk about assigning it in our next webinar, but I can edit it, continue editing, and I can see that there's my questions, and now I'm going to add a quiz, which was that weathering and erosion quiz. I'm going to add that to the assignment itself and then click on Save. In our next webinar, we will take a look at how to actually assign this to students and how students would have access to it through their CK12 logins. So until next time, if you have any questions about assignments or quizzes, please feel free to contact me or get a hold of your campus instructional technology specialist. All of us are happy to help you at any time with your CK12 or Flexbook questions. Until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.